And now, some Valentine's Day tips. Don't take tips about romance from a radio station. Duh. Happy Valentine's Day.
Pretty good advice.
Okay, what if you're taking advice from Chaz the intern? Totally different, man.
No, it's not at all.
Totally different.
It's worse.
I like that kid. He's a really good kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A 28-year-old woman from Oregon recently thought she had an eyelash stuck in her eye, but it turned out she had 14 tiny worms in there.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. You want me to go back to Valentine's Day in my surfer voice? Because that was way better than what I'm about to talk about.
Oh, my gosh.
Oregon resident Abby Beckley.
Oh, no.
Did you see it?
No, I don't want to look.
Imagine looking at your eye, right? And you're like, I got this crazy eyelash thing. And you pull it out, but it's translucent. And then it's wiggling. And it's like half an inch long. Look at that. Look at that photo.
Oh, gosh.
You're like, you're going to hurl. I'm going to help you do it, dude. I'm going to help you do it. She said, I looked at it and it was like moving. And then it died within about 5 seconds.
Oh, man.
Yeah, she pulled one out. Now imagine doing that not once, but 14 times. That's what she endured over a 3-week period back in 2016. Her story, published Monday as a case report by the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention, is a pretty historic one. It is only the 11th time a person has been infected by eye worms in North America. This is real, bro. According to Richard Bradbury, the team leader for the CDC Parasitic Diagnostic and Biology Laboratory. What's really exciting is it's a new species we've never infected people with before. I mean, people have never been infected with before. It's a cattle worm that somehow jumped onto a human.
Oh, my gosh.
Yep.
She's got cattle wormy eyes?
She's got cattle wormy eyes, bro.
Went to the doctor and got a surprise. She's got cattle wormy eyes.
She's got cattle wormy eyes.
She grew up in a ranch in Brookings, Oregon, surrounded by cattle and horses. She loved the outdoors. She had a burning desire to travel. She also had 14 worms in her eyes.
Can you say she also had cattle wormy eyes?
She had.
Went to the doctor and got a surprise. She's got cattle wormy eyes.
Woo! My left eye just got really irritated and red, and my eyelid was droopy, she said. I was getting migraines too, and I was like, what is going on? She'd been suffering for 5 days when the ship finally returned to port. That ship? A commercial salmon fishing boat in Craig, Alaska. She went on to that job.
Stop. Just stop.
On a fishing boat.
Done.
In Alaska. She loves traveling.
Wrong.
She'd been suffering for 5 days when that ship returned to port, and she found a good mirror and looked closely into her eye, never expecting she would find anything.
Next.
I pulled down the bottom of my eye and noticed my skin looked weird there.
Next.
So I put my finger in with sort of a plucking motion, and a worm came out. I was in shock. I ran to my crewmate's room and said, you need to see this. I just pulled a worm out of my eye.
Oh, my gosh.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. You have to stop it.
No,
stop
can't.
it.
I'm not.
Stop
I
it.
won't
Stop it.
I'm not going to stop. You stop,
Stop
it.
it.
You
Stop it.
She stopped first. She said,
Please stop
it has
it.
to be a salmon worm, so she feverishly searched for similar cases on the internet. She couldn't find anything. She visited a local doctor, an ophthalmologist. None of those dudes had any answers. They'd never seen anything like it. During that time, she pulled another 4 worms out of her eyes. No. At that point, she said she could see them moving across her eye.
Oh, my
There were
gosh.
so many worms in her eye.
No.
Family and friends encouraged her to return home, maybe leave the boat in Alaska.
No.
Yeah, no, that's real.
No.
That's real.
No.
So she set up an appointment with Health and Science University in Portland. She went directly there from the airport.
I don't know why.
There are a bunch of doctors examining her eye, and at first they were like, what? Who comes in and claims they have worms in their eyes? Am I right? And she said, I do. Please help me.
I have cattle wormy eyes.
Went to the doctor and got a surprise. She's got
Cattle wormy eyes! Yeah.
I like how we both went, yeah. Gosh, it's gross.
Yeah, I know.
That looks like the strain. You ever watch The Strain?
Yes, that's
that looks
exactly
like the strain.
what it looks like.
Those
dude.
little worms
that's
that
exactly
jump out of the
what it looks
vampire
like.
guys.
Don't Google this unless you're like
then they dig into
dead
your
set
skin.
on hurling today because it's so bad, guys. She said she was thinking to herself, "I really hope these worms show up." Because sometimes they'd go behind her eye and hide under the eyelid.
Gross.
To where she couldn't grab them.
Well, we got a phone call. Good morning.
I got a poem I wrote.
Yes, thank you. Save us.
I'd like to read it to you. It's in dedication. Today is February 13th, and this is the day of doom for many men.
Yes.
Because you have tomorrow. And it could seal the fate of many men and women because they become boyfriend-girlfriend the day before Thanksgiving? No.
Yeah, Thanksgiving.
What is it?
It's Thanksgiving
Valentine's
tomorrow.
Day tomorrow.
Yeah, it's Thanksgiving.
So anyways, I'd like to dedicate this poem to all the men out there who are freaking out. Okay?
Okay.
It's me.
So, okay.
I'm not freaking out. I'm not getting it.
All my friends are heathens. Take it slow. Wait for them to ask you who you know. Please don't make any sudden moves. You don't know half of the abuse. All my friends are heathens. Take it
That's
slow.
beautiful.
Yeah, okay.
You wrote that?
Wait for them to ask you who you know. Please do not make any sudden moves. You don't know half of the abuse. Welcome to the room of people who have rooms of people that they loved one day, docked away. Just because we check the guns at the door doesn't mean our brains will change from hand grenades.
Okay.
It's beautiful.
No, this is definitely 21 Pilots.
You're loving on the psychopath sitting next to you. You're loving on the murderer sitting next to you.
Wow.
You'll think, how did I get here sitting next to you? But after all I've said, please don't forget. All my friends are heathens. Don't you know? Okay, love you, bye.
Love you too, bye. That was a really beautiful poem. Bill Peterson, everybody.
So luckily, after about 30 minutes at the doctor's, the worms made an appearance and she could prove that she had all these crazy worms in her eyes. Yay! I felt one squiggle across my eye and I told the doctors, look right now! Yay! I'll never forget the expression on all of their faces as they saw it move across my eyeball. I just wanted to finish the story.
Went to the doctor and got a surprise. She's got cattle wormy eyes.
We'll never, ever talk about that again.
Ever. I hate anything to I put my contacts in this morning. Now I don't ever want to touch my eye again for
disgusting.
Forever. Don't worry, guys. It takes a certain kind of fly, and the larvae are transmitted by female face flies that feed on animal eye secretions. It's really, really near impossible for a human to get it.
The Morning Invasion with Dex and Stevo.